whether we join those efforts, whether we don't. The government also needs to be thinking through the national security ramifications as well.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
From the studios of Extreme Sports in Hastings, Nebraska, we present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy. Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. We have made it to a Friday, the 21st day of February for 2025. Mike Will, along with Tyson Havronic, ready to start your day. Going to be talking about all the stuff going on down in Lincoln. The Nebraska baseball team is in action today. The softball team continues their play at the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic in Cathedral City, California. The Nebraska women's basketball team will be in action on Sunday against Washington. The Nebraska men will have the weekend off. Hastings College basketball teams will close out their regular seasons tomorrow with a pair of games against Doane in Crete. The softball team, the baseball team is also in action. Hastings College is going to be hosting the GPAC Men's Wrestling Championships this weekend. The NAIA National Volleyball Tournament is staying in Sioux City, at least for the time being. The Nebraska Kearney basketball teams were in action last night against Pittsburgh State. We'll tell you how they did. The state high school wrestling tournament for the boys got underway yesterday, and a ton of sub-district and regular season basketball played around the area last night. So our plate is full again for a Friday as we welcome in Tyson Havronic from the Western Studios. Good morning.
Plate is full, and we even get to talk some ponies as racing will get underway over at Fauner Park this weekend. Saw video yesterday from CEO Chris Katulak of all of the work that was going on behind the scenes just to get the track ready for opening weekend. They had some graders that were going out and blowing snow off the track. So excited to get things underway with the ponies this weekend. And yeah, coming up at 7:30, another conversation with Jim is we'll try again to get you some winners and to get you all the intel with everything that's going down as they run for the fun over at Fauner Park. And yeah, you mentioned full plate. That was certainly the tale of last night. Is we were not lacking sports options for sports enthusiasts out there. Maybe the watch of the night. I think I had a lot of people that were in my group text that were like, "I'm watching hockey for the first time because of the build-up for this matchup," and then it lived up to the hype. Unfortunately for the USA. Unable to get by Canada last night as the Canadians win that in overtime, take a 2-2 tie down into the end of regulation, and Canada is able to find the winner in OT. So Canada wins it 3-2. Kind of a scoreline that I think a lot of people were eyeballing around the area. You know, total of 5 goals. And it was just kind of, hey, who's going to pick up that third goal? Who's going to be able to get the winner? And last night the Canadians hoist that cup. Meanwhile, on the U.S. Women's International Soccer front, a 2-0 win over Colombia to start off the She Believes Cup. And so a young team with a lot of fresh faces and just trying to get acclimated last night, I think, was a lot of U.S. soccer fans out there. So yeah, a lot going on, and then baseball getting underway in full today with some spring training action. So it's a good day. It's a good day.
Actually, your hockey was on the list of things I was going to talk about right off the bat here.
Hey, there we go.
Connor McDavid was the guy who scored that overtime goal at 8:18 of overtime to give Canada the 3-2 win over the United States to claim the Four Nations Face-Off Trophy. It was actually the second time an NHL international tournament was decided by an overtime goal. Daryl Sittler won it for Canada at the 1976 Canada Cup. So that's a little information I got for hockey because I knew you would be blowing right out of the gates with the Four Nations Face-Off Trophy that was awarded last night to Canada. So was there a bunch of brawls and fights in that cup last night? Or
honestly, I didn't pick it up until about the second period, so I don't know kind of how the game started, but had to work last night, so it was kind of back and forth between the U.S. Women's matchup, the hockey matchup, and oh, by the way, also trying to keep my customers happy over there at First Street Brewing. So didn't see the early goings of that baby, but was locked in from about mid-second period on. So Ryan Martin said it was a good game to watch, a lot of fun. Still wishes the puck was orange so he could follow it into the goalie's glove. I get it. But yeah, I get it. That means we're the Dakota saying that means we're the 11th province now. How's that work? Canadians.
All right, yeah, so if you're chiming in, go ahead. We'd like to make you a part of our show on the social media sites. Chime in if you'd like to give us a call. That'd be great, too. 402-834-1330 is our telephone number. 402-834-1330. Sports-related or not, you can give us a call. We'll chat about it here on Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. Again, leave us a message if you'd like. Thanks for joining us, whether you're on our website today at x-streamsports.com, maybe on your smartphone with our free mobile app, your smart speaker, Roku TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch. We're everywhere. So thanks for joining us for this Friday. A couple other notes. Zach Martin, one of the most decorated offensive linemen in Dallas Cowboys history, is retiring. He was a 9-time Pro Bowl selection in his 11 years with the Cowboys, so a mainstay on the Dallas offensive front is calling it quits. And the New Orleans Saints are expected to hire Doug Nussmeier as their new offensive coordinator. Nussmeier has worked alongside new Saints head coach Kellen Moore at a number of his stops, most recently in Philadelphia, where he served as the quarterbacks coach for Jalen Hurts and the Super Bowl champion Eagles. Nussmeier was the quarterbacks coach during Moore's stints as the offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Chargers. So the gang is all back together again in New Orleans as Kellen Moore is the head coach, and now they have plucked Doug Nussmeier off of the staff of the Philadelphia Eagles to join him there in New Orleans. So
that's what happens when you make a nice, successful Super Bowl run. Coordinators and coordinators' friends and other members of the coaching staff kind of get cherry-picked by the rest of the league. So Philadelphia is going to have to reload that coach's booth and be interesting to see how that all develops. But yeah, Saints trying to load up and take the formula that obviously worked over in Philly and just copy and paste over in New Orleans and see if they can't get that team. I still think that is out of all of the openings in the NFL jobs, that was probably the most lucrative. Maybe that or Jacksonville, because you've already got your kind of franchise QB. But thought like the New Orleans job was kind of the most ready to take flight, get a couple more pieces in there. And
really,
I think that team, absolutely.
You think they're that close to maybe being something again?
And they've got talent all over the place, man. They got talent all over the field. Imagine if Chris Olave stays healthy. Imagine if Chris Olave goes a full season. He's 14 points on his own, and he goes down with that season-ending, just gruesome injury to the head and neck area, and I think that kind of changes the dynamic for that football team. You're forced to be more one-dimensional. They key in on Alvin Kamara. If he's got other players to create space for him, Kamara's 100 yards and a touchdown a game. He was the big lone bright spot on my fantasy football team this year, so I know he racks up yards and tutties. New Orleans offensively is the most ready. They got work to do in the draft defensively, especially on that front. But you shore up a couple positions, and the Saints are right there. Plus, the NFC South is awful. You're contending with the lone bright spot, obviously Tampa Bay. Get that. But then it's Atlanta and Carolina. I mean, you're going to be in contention.
All right, so maybe an early Super Bowl prop.
Wow.
The New Orleans Saints.
A dark horse?
Well, what kind of odds can we get on that? The Saints being in the Super Bowl. You heard it first here on Huddle Up on February the 21st. Bet the Saints for the Super Bowl for next year. Tyson says they're just a few pieces away, and we're going to garner those in the upcoming draft.
I think you might be paraphrasing a little bit, but I think the Saints are primed to be in a good spot to be successful. I did not say hoist the Vince Lombardi trophy.
Well, go ahead and you might as well bet them. You'll get great odds.
Sure. Throw a little tenor on it.
Yeah. You get great odds with the Saints. Basketball last night, sub-district final. Centura played Hastings St. Cecilia out in Maywood for the C2-8 sub-district championship. Remember, these two teams played for the state championship a couple of years ago. Centura beat St. Cecilia last night 27-23.
Defense.
Or no offense. The Hawkettes finished 14-9. They might have enough playoff points to qualify for a district championship game. We'll decide that here in the next day or two. The Hawkettes are currently in 15th place as I checked them this morning. So the district championship games will be released here coming up. So the Hawkettes still might advance to a district championship game against one of the better teams in Class C2. So we'll see what happens there. But that was just one of the games played around the area last night. We had Hastings High regular season finale last night here on Extreme Sports. The girls lost, the boys won. Hastings High boys will actually finish off their regular season tomorrow with a game at Minden. So we'll get to those scores here coming up in just a little bit. Again, Jim Slacker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network is going to be joining us at 7:30 this morning. Fauner Park was supposed to open last weekend, but because of the snow and the cold weather last weekend, they called off the races both Saturday and Sunday. So they'll try to get going this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. The weather is booked to be a hell of a lot nicer. I see 40s, 50s, maybe 60s by next week. And then Tim Jones told me this morning that we could have another wave of winter weather coming in. So
no,
he told me told me to enjoy the spring-like weather. It's a false spring. He says there could be another weather system moving through here later on. Well, I told you it's just in time for a state basketball. Usually snows during the girls tournament or snows during the boys, one or the other. So that's coming up, and it's probably going to be right on schedule.
Dude, like Sheryl Crow, I'm going to soak up the sun next week. It's our fake spring, right? Like it's our false alarm spring. We get it every year. It should be expected. But if there's more winter weather expected, like just don't give me this crap where it's like 40 below anymore. I'll take snow. I don't care about snow. I will take fluffy, light snow, powdery. That's the stuff that will like fall, but then 24 hours later it just melts because it's warm again. I can take that. But you stick me in another week where we're going like 25 below zero, real-time temperature, not like our fake wind chill, real-time 25 below temperature, that I might move.
You know what that minus 25 actual temperature does for us?
Makes us colder than Antarctica?
No, you wake up this morning, it's 5 below zero.
Yes.
And you say, well, that's not too bad. Yeah, that's not too bad. It's 5 below zero. We have just a slight breeze at 8 miles per hour. Wind chill is at minus 13. I took the dog out this morning. I kind of felt, I said, this ain't too bad.
Yesterday when we hit 9 and the sun was shining.
Yeah, it felt like it was 40.
And I felt like I didn't have to wear a coat. It's 9 degrees, and I'm like, I don't need a coat. It's a festival out here. That's a mentality that you need to go to Arizona in the summer.
Well,
or in the winter, excuse me.
The bitter cold that we had this week just kind of, it gets us prepared mentally for the rest of the winter season. I walk outside, and like I said, 5 degrees below zero this morning, and I think to myself, this isn't too bad today. Hell, a couple of weeks ago I was saying it's freezing out here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So did you see the tweet from the National Weather Service, by the way, this morning? The National Weather Service office in Hastings said it was -7 at the time that they made that Facebook post, where it was like 7 degrees in Antarctica. So Antarctica was quite literally warmer than it was here in central Nebraska. Naturally, albeit it's summer in Antarctica right now, but still.
And it's 7, and it's summer in Antarctica.
Yeah.
It's 7 degrees,
Yeah.
and we're at -7
Something
in the
like
winter.
that. Yeah.
Which would you rather take? 7 degrees for a summer, or -7 in the winter?
I'm just saying, when we quite literally say it's colder than Antarctica, we are right.
Well, hopefully we're over the hump. I told you earlier.
That's what I'm
this week-
saying.
I told you earlier this week this is going to be like 4 days of hell this week as far as the weather is
And
concerned.
it was.
It was. And it's been a long week. You said it yesterday. It was a long week. My wife said it this morning. She says, God, this has been a long week.
The 19th day of the week.
Yeah, it just seems long, but we made it to Friday, and I think we've made it
Hell
over the
yes.
hump. We've
Let's
got
go.
something to look forward to here in the next few days. Anyway, we got lots to talk about here today. Yeah, stay on pace. It's 7:16. Let's get a quick news update now on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
News this hour brought to you by the Hastings Federal Credit Union, where they've been lighting the way to financial success since 1946. Hastings Federal Credit Union, proud to be your trusted long-term financial partner. As a nonprofit financial cooperative, the credit union is owned by the members who join, and joining, well, it's as simple as opening a primary savings account. You can get from point A to point B and everywhere in between, whether that's Nebraska to Arizona or Nebraska to Vegas. You can get it with a low-rate vehicle loan. Now, whether you're committed to camping or, like Mike, love living the lake life, you can also count on the credit union to finance your next big toy. They even do personal loans for life's little curveballs, like a rock going through your sunroof or a flat tire. So with the affordable low rates, convenient repayment options, and a friendly local staff that knows you by name, why don't you see for yourself what the credit union difference is all about? That's Hastings Federal Credit Union, 707 North Marion Road, or online, hastingsfcu.org. Hastings Federal Credit Union is an equal housing lender. We'll start off this morning with news out of Broken Bow, as yesterday morning started off with many citizens being awakened by a confirmed explosion at the downtown power plant location. At the time of the explosion, 2 city employees were inside of the power plant, both sustaining, thankfully, only minor injuries and transported to the Melham Medical Center in Broken Bow. The Broken Bow Electric Department had successfully rerouted power to restore service to most of the city following the citywide outage. However, a few locations did remain without power as crews were working to get that fully restored. Many residents spending the night in shelters in churches as they were without power for a bitterly cold stretch here of winter. The city said that they remain hopeful that power will be restored in the coming hours and wanted the affected residents to prepare for the night without power. City crews were also conducting round-the-clock welfare checks to the affected area to inform residents of the available shelters and hotels. Meanwhile, over at the state capitol, daylight savings time or standard time could be permanent, as the Nebraska legislature debated yesterday whether to move the state to year-round daylight savings time, which would make for longer nights, or standard time, which would make for earlier sunrises. Interestingly enough, both of those proposals came out of committee and are now being debated by the full floor during public debate. A public hearing was held on possible changes to the initiative process for putting those proposals on the ballot. So if the legislature were to approve a proposed time change, that would then go before Nebraska voters for approval in November of next year. And it is possible that Nebraska voters could be the ones who ultimately decide whether we go to year-round standard time or year-round daylight savings time. There's also a few other things that are going on with this bill, like clauses that 3 other bordering states, if it's not federally approved, would also have to approve it before we make the year-round time change. So there's still a lot to digest here and unpack. but it is being debated that we could have to not have to worry about changing clocks. It is, speaking of clocks, coming up on 7:20. Let's swing things over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going down in sports?
Well, the Nebraska baseball team will open a 3-game series at Louisiana today. Huskers are 2-2 in the season. First pitch will be at 6 tonight. The Nebraska softball team went 1-1 on the first day of the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic yesterday in Cathedral City, California. The Huskers beat Baylor 4-1, but lost to fourth-ranked UCLA 9-1 in 6 innings. Huskers are now 9-3. They'll play Duke today with the first pitch at 3 this afternoon. The Nebraska women's basketball team will play host to Washington on Sunday at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Tip-off will be at 2 on BTN. The Nebraska men will host Michigan on Monday at 7. That game will be on FS1. Hastings College basketball teams will close out the regular season tomorrow with games against Doane in Crete. The Bronco women are 21-6 on the season, 16-5 in the conference, and beat the Tigers 96-69 earlier this season in Hastings. The Bronco men are 4-22. They are 3-16 in the conference and lost to the Tigers 74-55 in their first meeting. Women's game will be at 2 tomorrow, with the men to follow at 3:45. We'll have the action on Extreme Sports, beginning with the pregame show at 1:45. Hastings College softball team will play a pair of games today at the America State Bank Sports Center in Sioux Center, Iowa. The Broncos will play St. Mary at 4 this afternoon, followed by a game against William Penn at 8. The Broncos will play Mayville State and Dakota State on Saturday. The Bronco baseball team will play 3 games against Dickinson State on Sunday at the Regis Baseball Field in Denver. Action will get underway at 10 o'clock. Hastings College will host the 2025 GPAC Men's Wrestling Championships this weekend. Action gets underway at 2 today and at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning at Lynn Farrell Arena at the Osborne Sports Complex. The NAIA has extended its agreement with the Tyson Event Center and the city of Sioux City to continue to host the NAIA Women's Volleyball National Championship through 2028. Sioux City has hosted this event since 2008. This year's tournament will take place from December 3rd through the 9th. The Nebraska County basketball teams lost to Pittsburgh State last night at the Health and Sports Center. The men lost their game 100-93, while the women dropped an 81-74 decision to Pittsburgh State. Both teams will play host to Missouri Southern on Saturday. Omaha Creighton Prep, Omaha Scott, Battle Creek, and Plainview are the team leaders after the first day of the Boys State High School Wrestling Championships in Omaha. Semifinals are scheduled for tonight, with the finals on Saturday. Centura beat St. Cecilia 27-23 last night to win the C2-8 Subdistrict Basketball Tournament in Maywood. Hawkins are now 14-9 on the season and still may have enough playoff points to qualify for a district championship game. Other sub-district finals from last night for the girls. Gothenburg beat Central City 55-46. Minden defeated Holdridge 53-39. Cross County knocked off Sandy Creek 39-26. Superior upended Red Cloud 60-40. Elm Creek beat Alma 53-42. Shelton defeated Nebraska Lutheran 64-44. Silver Lake blew out Lawrence Nelson 54-27, and Amherst got by Wilcox Hildreth by the score of 40-30. York beat the Hastings High girls last night 55-22. The Dukes jumped out to a 14-2 first quarter lead and never trailed. Ella Tinsman had 10 points for the Tigers. Hastings is now 4-17 on the season. They will face McCook on Monday in the sub-district tournament. In the boys' game last night, Parker Ablett, he went off. He knocked down 6 3-pointers, finished with 27 points as Hastings High beat York 67-49. The Tigers hit 51% of their field goals in the game, including 15 of 23 from beyond the arc. Hastings now 11-10 in the season. They will play at Minden on Saturday. So that's a check on a busy sports scene here today. 7:24 now in Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Starting off Friday below zero, but that'll be the last time for the foreseeable future. Hey everybody, Tim Jones, Nebraska Weather TV. Sunshine and highs all the way up to 20 degrees today. We will have some breezy conditions with winds out of the southwest 5 to 15 gusting into the 20s. Other than that, 8 degrees will be the overnight low tonight. Saturday, plenty of sunshine. We're right back up to the upper 30s. Low 20s overnight Saturday night and highs in the 40s on Sunday. Enjoy the nice weather.
Right now, we've got south winds at 8 miles per hour. We've got partly cloudy skies. It's 5 below in Hastings. Wind chill is at -13 at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
I'm John Butler, funeral director and owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the advanced funeral planning specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Extreme Sports has been bringing you the exclusive home of Hastings College Athletics, and we're just getting started. Thanks to our incredible sponsors and your support, Extreme Sports 2 has been a huge success, and now we're excited to announce the launch of Extreme Sports 3. With Extreme Sports 3, you'll get even more local sports coverage. Plus, 24/7 access to Sports by Line, where you'll hear the best in national sports talk. Whether it's Hastings College, high school action, or the latest from around the sports world, we've got it covered across all 3 streams. And don't forget, when we're not broadcasting games, join us weekday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for Huddle Up with Mike Will and Tyson Havronik. It's the perfect way to start your day with sports, news, weather, and great local interviews. So tune in, check out all 3 streams, and stay with us for even more sports coverage coming soon. Thank you to our sponsors for making it all possible, and to you, our listeners, for keeping Extreme Sports strong.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson Havronik. It's a Friday morning, the 21st day of February for 2025. Again, thanks for joining us, whether you're on our website today at x-streamsports.com, maybe on your smartphone with our free mobile app, maybe on your smart speaker, Roku TV, Facebook Live on YouTube or Twitch. Thanks for joining us. It's a Friday morning at 7:30. You know what that means.
They're moving in the gate.
And down the Century come in the Kentucky Derby, and Barbaro is running away. It's Edgar Prado aboard, and Barbaro is going to win this Derby by 6 lengths. Blue Best had second. From far back, Steppenwolf came on to be third.
All right, time to bring in our racing experts, Jim Slanker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network. He's going to join us here this morning. Jim, good morning to you.
Morning, and morning race fans.
I'll tell you what, we kind of had a deja vu slap in your face last week with Fauner Park last week canceling the races Saturday and Sunday. We're going to get back at it this weekend, hopefully, huh?
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a good week this week. I know that we've had some bitter cold temperatures, and there hasn't been a lot of training, but temperatures are going to rise up into the 30s, possibly up to maybe 50 on Sunday, and we've got some good races on tap this weekend, and we're ready to get things started.
Jim, what's a delay like this, when you have and you get everything ready to go, talk like just training programs for a second, because it's not like we can take the entries that we had a week ago and just copy and paste and move them over to a week. This is Mother Nature when it makes a little bit of a disruption, kind of shuffles things around and forces some different entries. Just talk a little bit about navigating through Mother Nature over there at the Fawn.
Well, when we get cold weather like this, obviously it's not good for the horses or the workers to get out in this. It's hard on their lungs. So what this does is creates a lot of extra manual work. Instead of taking the horses to the track, these horses will be walked under shed row. They'll go over to the Big Red Barn where there is a walker jogger, which is a automated machine that keeps these horses moving. They can only put 4 at a time in there. These horses, they're separated with a fan wheel that it pushes them, so it actually allows them to jog, not under tack or anything, but it helps keep them moving. That way they're not just cooped up in a stall and not getting training. But it makes for a lot of extra work for everybody. But under ideal conditions, they'd be out on the track. But we're able to make do because we do have a lot of the enclosed sheds for them.
Jim, what about the horses that were scheduled to run last week? Well, they wouldn't this week now? Will we have added races or more horses in each race? Or how do those horses come back now?
Well, it's still there's a condition book that's put out every spring that they're during the winter for what types of races are available on what days, according to what horses are on the track. These horses that were entered last week, if they want to run back, they're similar races, but they have to re-enter. So some of these horses that were scheduled to run last week are in different races this week, and others, of course, are waiting for their conditions to come up later on in the meet now. So it really doesn't hurt things too bad. These horses will be right back out on the track here within the next week or two, and we'll see them running again.
And Jim joining us here on Huddle Up this morning as we continue to talk track and talk official opening weekend for Fauner now as the sun's going to be out. And I think I can speak for a lot of people that were hunkered down here over the course of this 19-day week that we had with sub-zero temperatures. We all deserve a little bit of break and a little bit of sunshine and deserve a little time at the track. But let's talk about this weekend in general. 19 races on a Saturday and Sunday back-to-back card here. You got 10 on Saturday, 9 coming up on Sunday. Of those 19, we've just got 5-6 furlong races, so a couple of those short 4 furlong races, and that always adds a little bit of intrigue and a little bit of drama to the weekend, Jim.
It does. The intriguing part sometimes is going to the longer races this time of year because you have horses that are shipping in from other tracks, coming in from warmer climates, might be a little bit more fit for the 6 furlong races. So therefore, we don't see a lot of them. Horses need to get into shape to run. The 4 furlong races, well, they're just a blast to watch. That sprint out of the gate, and it's just an all-out dash. It's where I really like watching them. It's not quite a quarter horse race, but there's some really good action throughout the whole race. And one of those races this week comes on Saturday because Saturday starts our stake season. And so we see 9 horses going in the Grasmick Stakes that sets up to be a fantastic race this weekend.
All right, Jim, let's put you on the spot a little bit. So what are you looking for this weekend? Where's some of the best bets this weekend at Fauner Park?
Well, if I'm looking at Fauner Park, I'm really looking at a couple things here. On Saturday, in the stakes race itself, that's a fantastic race. Like I said, 9 horses going postward, a lot of speed. We've got last year's reigning champ in there in Hacker. We've got some ship-ins coming in, and a horse that I'm looking at in the Grasmick is a horse by the name of Axel Steel for Mark Hibden. It's won his last 3 races down in Louisiana, and I look for this horse. It's got a ton of speed to get out and win that race. But now if you're looking for my long shot plays and my best bet of the day, I go back to race 4 and the 7-horse Daddy's Finest as my best bet of the day. He ships in from Del Dalso where he's running 5 furlong sprints, but this horse down there, he will come up here, show tons of speed again. He's got 3 wins lately. He just looks to be the class of that race and outpace him. Now, if you're looking for a long shot, I really like the 7th race there and a horse called Bray Bray. Bray Bray's got a lot of back class. He hasn't raced since November 17th at Arapahoe, but he was successful against a lot tougher competition earlier in the year. And he can show enough speed to be on the lead if he needs to. He's dropping down in class, racing against bottom claimers today, where he was running in allowance races and $10,000 claiming races. I really look for Bray Bray to do well, and I think there's going to be some good odds there on that horse.
Jim Slegard again joining us here on.
No.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. What's your question there, Tyson?
Oh, sorry about that. I thought we're wrapping up there, but wanted to focus again on the 9th race, Jim. That stakes race. I was looking over some of the entries, and it just looks like this could be a real potential moneymaker if it's handicapped well. If you're playing kind of the exotics, the trifectas, exacta boxes, you could put together a real good ticket here to put some cash. You mentioned you kind of liked the Axel Steel. He's coming off the favorite, but you play your cards right here, and then that 9th race could be a nice little payday for you.
It can be, and that's a couple horses that I do look in there. Another one is Adios Gray. Comes in for Skylar Condon. This horse, actually, if you go back and look at him, he's shipping in from out of the East Coast and run against a lot better. You might not appear that he's got the speed of some of these, but for the competition he was running against, I think he's got a good chance in here to run these down too. It's a very tough race with those 9 horses, and the more horses you have, the tighter the competition, the money gets spread. There could be some good payouts all day this day.
All right, so that's what's going on to Fauner Park this weekend. Of course, Fauner will have a simulcast racing with races running all over the United States. Anything that strikes you nationwide here this weekend, Jim?
Well, this here's a very big weekend for horse racing nationwide. Tomorrow you'll have to get up really early if you want to catch these races. But tomorrow is the Saudi Cup. This here's the world's richest race, $20 million. It's run over in Dubai. There's 14 horses in that race, but there's only 2 that have United States connections as far as racing here, and that's Defunded and Rattle and Roll. I have no clue in this. The horses coming from all over. Anything can happen over there. But, $20 million race. And then there's a couple big Kentucky Derby prep races this weekend also. The John Battaglia out of Turfway, and then you see the $1.25 million Rebel Stakes out of Oaklawn, where in that race there's a couple horses that stand out, but I think for my betting money, I'm probably going to be playing Sandman and Ballard. Both of them laying just off the pace. There's a ton of speed in that race, and I'm hoping it sets up for a closer there.
All right, so that's what's going on nationally with some races. You talked about some of those Kentucky Derby prep races last weekend, Jim. How'd you do? You threw out a couple to us last Friday. How'd you do on those?
Oh, I had one just like you guys played football. It wasn't good.
Jim, sometimes you got to get up in the morning and look yourself in the mirror and say, what the hell am I doing?
I had to relook at that one. I think my horse only beat one horse, and he went off as the favorite in the race and just did absolutely nothing. But
well, now
we're going to try her again this weekend.
Yeah, now you feel like we do each and every time Tyson and I go to the racetrack. Like, what the hell did we bet? That horse, he finished dead ass last.
It's always easy to have hindsight at the races and go back and look and go, what did I see in that horse? But
it fits right in, doesn't it?
But it happens. I mean, when you look at it and figure only less than 1 in 3 horses that's a favorite wins, and trying to pick one horse out of 9 or 10 can be really tough. If you can come up with 2 or 3 good winners a day, you've had a fantastic day. And so you're never going to go out and expect to win all 9 races or 10 races.
All right, so that's the latest racing information that we have. Jim Slacker again for the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network. He'll join us each and every Friday for the next several weeks here as Fowler Park is running. It's a Saturday and Sunday this weekend, right?
That is correct. It's Saturday and Sunday. Post time is 1:30 p.m. both days. And, as I said, we've got some fantastic races. And if you'd like to see all my selections, if you go to my Facebook group, Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network, I'll give you selections for all 19 races for the weekend there. So all you have to do is jump over to Facebook and check that out.
All right, Jim. Good luck this weekend. Maybe fill up the cash box. We'll talk about it again next Friday, all right?
That sounds great. We hope to see everybody out the track. And remember, you will have fun. You can bet on it.
All right, Jim, have a good week. Jim Slacker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network joining us here today on Extreme Sports. When he was talking about those stakes races, Tyson, you and I are kind of amateurs at this. We kind of thought about eating a steak. like if we could pick the winner of the stakes races that maybe you and I would sit down and have a steak. That's how a little we know about the horse racing.
Stakes races, get a ribeye, right? Yeah.
Ribeye, medium rare, please.
I always know, like, when the bigger ones are, because you just kind of look at the payout when you're kind of taking a look at your program, and so you always kind of scroll around and whatever's got the biggest payout, and just so happens to be, like I think he said, the Grass Mix Stakes here this weekend coming up on Saturday, but that's the one that gets the field. That's the one that you kind of want to stick around for, because that's where the odds are going to be a lot more evened out, and you're going to have an opportunity to put some money in the pocketbook. And so as I was kind of pulling and doing a little homework here last night in preparation for Jim's call here this morning, I saw that Grass Mix Stakes, and you just looking at the odds board. I mean, you've got a horse that right now I think is the favorite on the morning line at 3-1. That was the Axel Steele horse, which he referred to. But then it varies from there. It goes and your odds really start to increase, because it's like 5 to, I think a horse, I think I saw one at like 16-1. But there's a lot of money in that, and if you can pair exactas boxes and trifecta boxes. If you can do what I try to do each and every week over at Fauner Park and actually do something that I don't do, which is hit it, you can put some nice money in the pocketbook. So, don't be fooled by the 4 furlongs. Don't be fooled. This is a good opportunity to make some early money and get off to get your spring or your early spring off to a good start. Put a little spring in your step, if you will. Especially after this long week. Again, I'm just looking forward to getting the hell out of the house.
Jeez. Is that the 9th race tomorrow?
That is the 9th race coming up tomorrow.
God, if you're going up to the races, you're going to have to pace yourself.
Pace.
Keyword. Yeah, it definitely is the 9th race. That's well into the day at Fauner Park.
So the horses, they're all concerned about pace. We got to be concerned about pace.
No doubt. So anyway, Fauner Park going this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Opening weekend at Fauner Park after last weekend it was wiped out. So that's the latest on the ponies. And again, thanks for Jim Slacker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network for checking in with us here today. Hopefully he's got a couple of winners for you. And again, you can go to his Facebook group page. He's got a list of all the races. So you don't want to go up there empty-handed. You've got to have something to go on, right? So Jim's he looks at every race and gives you his predictions, and he gives you a little recap of the race. I guess a little preview, not a recap, a preview of each race. So go to his Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing site on Facebook, and you'll be able to get all of his picks. See how he did.
Program selections, blue sheets, and now Jim's picks.
Yeah, Jim's picks.
Jim's picks. Got it. You cannot be armed with a lack of information if you listen to this show and head over to the track this weekend. We've got plenty of info for you. So
yeah, don't say that you didn't have any information or you don't know anything about the race.
Yep,
it's your fault.
Yep,
it's your fault if you did. So anyway, 7:46, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. Again, basketball-wise, Nebraska men are going to be off until Monday. The women playing at Washington on Sunday. That's their senior day, so they'll have some festivities at PBA. Hastings College basketball teams on the road tomorrow at Doane. The women, it looks like they're going to qualify for the GPAC postseason tournament that begins next Wednesday. And it looks like our first-round opponent will either be Northwestern or Doane.
So it could play Doane back-to-back?
Could be facing Doane in back-to-back games for the women, depending on what happens in the conference this weekend. So we could see Northwestern again. We could see Doane again on the Wednesday in the first round of the GPAC tournament. For the men, this will be their capper on their season as they play the Tigers in Crete tomorrow. Our buddy E-Man, he's over in Sioux Center, Iowa. No wonder he hasn't checked in. Has he checked in today?
I do not have a check-in from E-Man. Might be on the road.
Yeah, Hastings College softball team playing a pair of games in Sioux Center, Iowa. They're playing St. Mary today at 4, William Penn tonight at 8. So much for his Friday night fun. I've stayed in Sioux Center, Iowa on Friday or Saturday night. It's not fun. So E-Man, I don't know what he's going to do all night.
In Sioux Center?
Yeah, Sioux Center.
Isn't it? Orange City is the dry county, right?
Yeah, that's Orange City.
That's Orange City. And that wouldn't be fun.
Sioux Center is just up the road.
Sioux Center is just up the road. Okay.
About 8 miles or so.
Oh, wow.
I think I've stayed there a time or two. He'll find something to do in Sioux Center, but it's not a rockin' town.
It's not a Husker baseball.
Town. Husker baseball's tonight.
Louisiana, Lafayette, formerly known as Louisiana Lafayette, now just Louisiana. The Ragin' Cajuns.
6 o'clock starting time. That's the beginning of a 3-game series with the Ragin' Cajuns this weekend.
Yep.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the Huskers. Let's see what else is going on here today. We talked about all this high school sub-district basketball from last night. The regular season for most teams are going to end this weekend. Like we said, Hastings High is going to play that boys game at Minden tomorrow. That'll wrap up their regular season. The boys sub-district basketball tournaments will get underway next week. Hastings High is going to be involved in the sub-district basketball tournament. The girls will be playing up at Northwest. The boys tournament is going to be at Aurora, and those pairings should be out sometime today, maybe early tomorrow morning, but Hastings High will begin play next Wednesday. So a lot of basketball. Next week is going to be like Murder's Row. It's going to be a lot of basketball next week, each and every day. So we'll have action all week long next week here on Extreme Sports.
Yeah, you talk about like basketball in terms of like a horse race. You're on the home stretch now, and it's a furious finish until we wrap up the hoop season and get set to put on the cleats and hear the ping of the bat and do some diamond sports. But yeah, the furious finish to the basketball side of things. Spring training started up in earnest yesterday with the Cubs and the Dodgers. Cubs picking up the dub. And that'll begin more action today, beginning high noon. High noon, we've got Rays, Yankees, and then spring training action. And then Rangers, Royals to follow. More Cubs, Dodgers action. Mariners, Rockies, Diamondbacks, Padres, all in action today as the baseball season gets into the beginning stages of the swing. And then college hoops game tonight. I want to allude you to this one. 7 o'clock start. This one should be fun. And for Nebraska's sake, to kind of put eyeballs and get an early scouting report on Michigan. Oh, by the way, they're good. Michigan State tonight. Izzo versus the Wolverines. Michigan currently a 3-point favorite at home against Tom Izzo and the Sparties.
All right, so Michigan playing Michigan State tonight. Maybe they'll be on a downer when they come to Lincoln on Monday. Maybe that'll take a lot out of them tonight playing their rivals in Michigan State.
Alumni tournament, 4-on-4.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Have I been playing noon ball?
I was just looking at that.
Have I been hooping it up? Is that what we're asking?
Are you playing noon ball? Where? You're not even in shape to do anything.
I'm not I retired. Yeah,
you're not playing noon ball. You're not playing basketball at noon.
No.
Somebody just chirped in. Russ chirped in and said, Tyson, are you playing noon ball?
We got the alumni tournament coming up with the 4-on-4 basketball, but I did alumni basketball probably a decade ago.
You haven't played?
I don't think I've shot. I don't think I've taken a shot in probably 10 years. Like legitimately picked up a ball and threw it towards a hoop in about 10 years.
Oh, you're primed for the alumni tournament. Yeah,
we're ready to roll.
Yeah,
baby.
If you haven't picked up a ball in 10 years, you're prime. You're prime for the alumni tournament coming up.
As of now, no, I'm not in.
Russ, sign him up. No,
don't you dare.
Yeah, Russ, sign him up. I think he's ready for the alumni tournament. What year did you graduate?
05.
So put him on the 2005 team.
Please don't. We're not very good.
Who'd you have in your class in 2005 at Hastings St. Cecilia High?
Our basketball stud was Andrew Hernandez. Andrew Hernandez was our stud.
Oh, yeah.
Point guard.
Yeah,
yep.
I remember him.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, put you on that
And then
team.
we had the bigs. We had Brennan Kitten, Jeff Hoke. They played big. Nathan Duggan, Spencer Parks.
Oh, that's a good team.
It was.
Yeah, those guys could still play.
It was a good team.
And then we'll put you on there.
I've played.
Can you run the scoreboard?
They're perfect for our team. So I think after a certain year, like you just get thrown on the rest of the team.
Yeah, give us a minute or two. Yeah, could you just give us a minute or two? So we
I get like 2 trips down the court, and then I'm like sub.
So that's the alumni tournament coming up. Yeah, put him on the 2005
Lord.
team.
God,
it'd be great. All right, 7:53. Waking up with Mike and Tyson this morning on Huddle Up. Good morning.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Local news this hour brought to you by the Hastings Federal Credit Union, where since 1946, Hastings Federal Credit Union has been a part of the Hastings community, and community, well, it's at the heart of everything they do. With a convenient drive-up, 24-hour ATM, and a friendly staff that knows each member by name, why would you go anywhere else? That's Hastings Federal Credit Union, 707 North Marion Road, or online at hastingsfcu.org. Hastings Federal Credit Union is an equal housing lender. Start off with the debate over the clocks currently taking place over in the Nebraska legislature as they debated yesterday whether to move the state to either year-round daylight savings time, which makes for longer evenings and the sun setting later, or permanent standard time, which where the sun would then thus rise earlier but set earlier on the day. And meanwhile, both of these measures have advanced out of committee, meaning they were debated by the legislature in full yesterday. However, if the legislature were to approve a time zone change or a time change, it would then go to Nebraska voters for their approval in November of next year. A few clauses still remain with this particular piece of legislation. At least 3 bordering states must also adopt a similar policy if this is not something that is adopted federally for this to take place. But Nebraska lawmakers currently debating whether or not we should ever have to change clocks again. Meanwhile, yesterday morning, over in Broken Bow started with citizens being awakened by what was confirmed as an explosion at the downtown power plant location. At the time of the explosion, 2 city employees were inside of the power plant. However, thankfully, both sustaining only minor injuries and transported to the Melham Medical Center out of an abundance of caution. Broken Bow Electric Department successfully then rerouted power to restore service to most of the city. However, some locations did remain without power and wanted the residents to be prepared for a night without power. City crews were conducting hourly welfare checks to the affected areas, also informing residents of available areas that did have power, as well as hotels and churches in the area. So the power plant explodes on possibly the coldest week, but it does appear that city crews were working quickly and round the clock to restore power to Broken Bow. Meanwhile, 4 minutes until 8 o'clock. Let's flip it back over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going down in sports?
Hastings College will host the 2025 GPAC Men's Wrestling Championships this weekend. Action gets underway at 2 this afternoon and then 10 o'clock tomorrow at Lynn Farrell Arena on the Osborne Sports Complex. The NAIA has extended its agreement with the Tyson Event Center in the city of Sioux City to continue to host the NAIA Women's Volleyball National Championship through 2028. Sioux City has hosted this event since 2008. This year's tournament will take place from December 3rd through the 9th. Omaha Creighton Prep, Omaha Skutt, Battle Creek, and Plainview are the team leaders after the first day of the Boys State High School Wrestling Championships in Omaha. Semifinals are scheduled for tonight with the finals on Saturday. Centura beat St. Cecilia 27-23 last night to win the C2-8 Subdistrict Basketball Tournament in Maywood. Hawkettes are now 14-9. They still might have enough playoff points to qualify for a district championship game. Those pairings will be announced soon by the NSAA. York beat the Hastings High girls last night, 55-22. The Dukes jumped out to a 14-2 first quarter lead and never trailed. In the boys game, Parker Ablett hit 6 3-pointers, finished with 27 points as Hastings High beat York by the score of 67-49.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Starting off Friday below 0, but that'll be the last time for the foreseeable future. Hey everybody, Tim Jones, Nebraska Weather TV. Sunshine and highs all the way up to 20 degrees today. We will have some breezy conditions with winds out of the southwest 5 to 15 gusting into the 20s. Other than that, 8 degrees will be the overnight low tonight. Saturday, plenty of sunshine. We're right back up to the upper 30s. Low 20s overnight Saturday night and highs in the 40s on Sunday. Enjoy the nice weather.
Right now, we've got south winds 8 miles per hour. Wind chill is at minus 13. Currently 5 below in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson O'Brien, wrapping up a Friday morning here. Daylight saving time or standard time?
Daylight savings time, all day. I don't know why this is a debate. Who in the hell wants to have it dark at 5 p.m.? That's awful. And everyone's like, oh, the early sunrises. Screw early sunrises. I am sick and tired of looking out when we get our long nights in December, and it's like 5 p.m. and I'm ready for bed. No more of that crap. I'm done with it. Give me daylight savings time.
Well, it wouldn't be 5 o'clock like during the summer. It wouldn't be getting dark at 5 o'clock during the summer.
Oh, I know it doesn't get dark till 10, but I'm for anything to push back whatever makes the sun go down sooner.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think if I had my choice, it would be daylight savings time all the time. I don't care during the winter if it screws up things. Mm-hmm. It's already the winter weather already screws up our lives enough.
Yes. Bingo.
I'm not worried about the time.
Bingo.
So I agree. I would be that. I would be daylight savings time, but this would be a discussion maybe for next week. We can get into this and see what people think about this.
Yeah. It's been hotly debated.
Why is it that the state lawmakers discuss this and then they put it up to the vote of the people?
Because you got to approve a constitutional resolution.
Yeah, I know.
That would have to go in the and to approve a constitutional resolution that actually has to go before the voters.
I know that, but
it's procedure.
They make these laws. Hell, we ought to just get rid of the state senators and just put everything on the ballot and let us decide. Look at all the money we could save.
Yeah, lose.
Every issue that's important, just put it on the ballot. Let us vote for it. Save all that money and all that discussion each and every day at the state legislature.
Given what we just saw in the most recent elections, do you really want that?
Well, maybe. Maybe I'm
food for thought.
Maybe I'm speaking out of turn. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn here. We'll get into that next week. I'll put that on a list of things to debate. Maybe we'll get some people to weigh in on that. So, all right, it's the end of the work week.
We did it. We made it.
We made it through the week. It was not easy, folks.
It was not.
The weather is going to be a lot nicer, and things will be a lot better when we get together again on Monday. So, well, I hope Jim comes up with some picks this weekend, some winners.
You gonna head up there? No, you got basketball. You
I
can't
got
head up there.
basketball.
Are you gonna send me some selections to make for you?
Are you going up?
Probably.
I could go up Sunday, maybe.
Does a bear? Yeah. I might be up there. You might know.
There's nothing going on Sunday. I could maybe go up there Sunday.
We might make a plan on that. I have to work Saturday, so
Jimmy will be up there.
Might plan Sunday.
We'll run into him.
Sunday fun day.
He'll help us out. There'll be some steaks races. We'll have plenty to eat. Ribeye, please. Medium rare. We'll make Jim pay.
Fantastic.
All right. Have yourself a good weekend.
Well.
See you again on Monday.
You've been listening to Huddle Up